that's a perfect scenario for a family to come together and say, hey, son, hey, daughter, hey, nephews, nieces, grandkids, whatever. We should come up together as an ownership group. The kids may only have 100 grand they can put in, but hey, mom and dad have this, everybody has that. We can pull together 1.2, 1.5, and all of a sudden that's yielding. And that's the other thing I want to talk about too, is how does the rent, so the rental income comes in top line, you have your operational expenses. I'm assuming there's some sort of management, that you charge.
Yeah.
Do they have to take distributions every year, or how does that work with the cash flow? Because I'm sure there's going to be people who are wondering, how does that all work with these units? Do they turn profit, or they pretty much, do you try to break them even? And if that's irrelevant or whatever, forgive me if I'm going down.
Well, I mean, you think you want to break even or take a profit. It's really, again, it depends on the group of owners, but it's all spelled out in the operating agreement how it's distributed. So usually it's a K1 at the end of the year, and so you're just adding it to your personal taxes at K1 at the end of the year. There's different tax strategies that come into play with taking a property, putting it in an LLC that you can do. One we talked about, the 100% depreciation. But again, for just regular everyday people who want to own a slice of a vacation property that can sleep all their family, everything like that, and then maybe rent out other weeks that they're not using it, and have that be free every year. That's what we just make that easy to do it that way.
Okay. No, that makes sense. So I kind of want to move on, because this is going to sound like a crazy question. Forgive me if I'm a crazy interviewer here. But how do you vet people? Right? Because for me, one of my things
that is a great question.
Because, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. So one of the things that we instituted very early is basically we hardly converse with anyone that's not Plum certified. So we have this whole process where, I would love to do more, but we basically, every person who wants to, explore buying a share of property, or even if they want to sell shares of their home, they need to get Plum certified on it. And basically what that is just, a credit check and a background check. So we just want to make sure those two things, at least we can check the box. And then when it comes time to purchase a piece of property, we do an asset verification. So we make sure they have the assets in the bank, and we also do a confirmation of income. So we know that they can afford the month to month. So they not only have the cash, but they also have the income. But we really try to encourage people to be involved, because you have all different price points on our marketplace. You have as low as 100 grand all the way up to 500, where people are transacting. So we wait to do the asset verification and income verification until the end of the process, because we don't want to verify somebody for 100 grand and then they go, I want to jump in on the $500,000, and they can't afford it. So those are some of the things we do. But the key thing is the Plum certified label being, the credit check and background check.
I just sort of want to make sure I don't have a serial killer in my group.
Exactly.
No
Same with me. And
I don't judge serial killers, but
that's why we implement it. Is you are literally going into business with these people.
You are, and I can see that being sort of, for some, maybe a stumbling block. But I think that the opportunity, and I think more importantly, this is what you're building, and what Plum, I see so much value in it, because you are there as a true partner, mitigating as much as you can some of these problems